You know what time it is? Buenos dias. Well, I've actually dried up already. Eh, It's 9 o'clock. 9:15? Maybe? And I left the house at 8. Close to 8. Didn't matter. I was like, ooh, it's gonna be bad. So yes, it was hot. And then on the way back, I said, okay. So I went to San Felipe first today. Usually I go to the fish market first. Buenos dias. And so I went to San Felipe to the meat market. I know. I'm cooking some wings for his sister. So I got some wings. I got 3 chicken breasts. I want to have it as a backup, if I need to get more extra protein. But I wanted some fish. So I didn't need any vegetables. My fridge is full. So I don't need any veggies. So I said, now I told you, I don't go to the main hall, showroom, whatever. That's where I got scammed. So I only go to the side. And if you don't mind the yucky looking ground, that's why, you get home and it's like the shoes stay outside because they're gonna have to go in the washer because those floors is like, ee! And every time I'm walking, and somebody splashes something, and they kind of look at me like, what are you doing here? So I go to what should I call it? This is the hood of the fish market, okay? It's the hood. That's where I shop now. So I went to a different entrance because usually when I go to the fish market first, I come on the side right after the overpass. When you cross that road, take your life in your hand. Usually I'm waiting to see some guy is crossing to go with them. Otherwise, you do have access to the overpass where you can go. But because I was coming from San Felipe, so I entered a different entrance. So my little guy where I got shrimp, I didn't want any shrimp, okay? I didn't see him. But I was looking for some really simple fillets that I can, sometime when I have, I season them, and then I make like a breading with some breadcrumbs, like panko with some spices, and then I put them in the oven. So, and then he said, $1 a pound. I'm like, oh, okay. It's gonna be that kind of morning. I'm like, yes. So we get here, and he gives me, I said, okay, he said $1 a pound. I said, give me 3 pounds. So this is $3 worth of fish. I'm not opening it, but that is a good deal. And Maggie loves a good deal. But I think I'm gonna have to open this one and show you. All right, Michelle, stop it. Okay. Michelle is the thing that wants to, okay. Relax, my gosh. Okay. My favorite fish in the world is pompano. Pompano, I don't know if it goes in cool waters or not, but it's a flat fish. And that's why whenever I go to Orlando, this is pompano. You see? If you ever see this fish, and try it and tell me what you think. Because usually it's bigger and thicker, right? And I would cut them in 2 pieces. The meat is soft. It's kind of buttery, and it kind of picks up any flavor that you season it with. This is not a salt and pepper kind of fish, okay? You're gonna have to put a little bit more, some herbs or lemon juice and maybe a little bit of adobo or something like that. But I saw one and I was like, oh my God, do you have any more? But of course, remember, in those places, this is for the hood. So they're not fancy or anything. Everything is like in bushel and cajas, in boxes. So I'm like, oh, you have any more? So bless his heart, he came and he flipped, it looked. There was only that one It was only one pompano. Oh, I'm so excited to see this. So I said, how come you don't have any? He said, oh, the restaurants come and they take them. I'm like, oh. And I said, what time should I be here to get them? She said, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, no. There is nothing I need that bad. That reminds me of, what do they call that? Black Friday. I've never done a Black Friday in my life. There is nothing in this world that I need that I have to stand in line at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I said, okay. He said, well, don't you want Corvina Chiquita? I said, okay, give me some Corvina. And listen, he said, this is 85 cents. I'm like, shh, Maggie, don't say anything. I'm like, 85 cents. So I got the code. I have the pompano and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. 6 of these. But you know that I'm gonna have to clean them because that's the one thing about going to the hood. They're not, well, you're gonna have to pay for them to clean it. And I didn't have time. So I'm gonna have to do that. So if I come here and you see fish scales in my hair, that's what happened. I'm like, 85 cents. And it's got $3 for the little fillets. So I gave him $5 and he gave me $1 back. Listen, you know your girl likes a deal. I'm like, I'm never setting foot in that big showroom again. Because I got everything. They have a seafood mix. That one comes, I think they buy it in a box. That has calamari and octopus and shrimp and other pieces of fish. And if you're making fish soup, you can buy that. I bought it one time. I don't know. I didn't care for it that much. Ooh, people are busy in the chat. Okay. So, but you know what I noticed? The fish here, when I clean fish, as I said before, I have to double, triple bag them and put them in the trash because if they, and I have to do it like early in the morning so that they can take it, because if not, my whole hallway, and it's like, I think the neighbors won't be happy with me. You know, when I cook, it smells the whole place too. I don't mind that. Ooh. So, I did not go to San Felipe. I did not need anything. I got my lines. I have a whole squash calabasa. Told you I got a big tumbler. I like it. It keeps the thing cold all day. And I'm like, why is the water cold all day? What's that aluminum? What did they put in it? Because, you know, I might think I'm doing the right thing, but if there is some kind of chemical inside to keep the water cold like that, then I gotta think. I gotta think. So tomorrow, I have kale. I bought quinoa. Now I have all 3 colored quinoas. I bought the red one. I broke down. It's like $4 something for a small little bag. I bought it. So we're gonna mix the quinoa. I don't know if I'll mix it because I do have the black beans. Maybe I should just do white quinoa and red quinoa with the black beans and not the black one, right? Because we already have, you got to think like an artist. You already have black beans, right? And I have squash. We're going to roast a bit of squash. I bought a beautiful cauliflower. I was so excited when I saw that. And I have avocado. And I was so excited to see the cauliflower at Ray. You know, when I came up, and I'm like, whoa, because you don't ever see that at Ray. So I was like, oh. And then I asked the lady, of course, there's no price on it, like they do at River Smith. And then she said, oh, it's per unit. Unido. I'm like, okay. Pero cuánto cuesta? And then she said, oh, it's not, but it's really nice. Nice, and you know how they start getting a little brown? This one is really pretty. So we're gonna have some to put that in the salad. I have beets we can put in there. Of course, I said we have kale. I still have some, you need like cherry tomatoes for these salads, right? And let's see, what else do I have? I have capers, no olives this time. I don't think this salad calls for olives. I still didn't get the mint. Maggie. I still didn't have the mint. And other phones. What happens when you're carrying too many phones? I need to remember to do that because you need mint when you're making these salads. It's all Mediterranean this month, right? So, of course I wrote it down. Kale, quinoa, black bean, beets, carrots, zucchini, squash, cauliflower, chickpeas. I always use chickpeas like croutons. That's my croutons. So you cook it and then you just, and of course I toss them in turmeric and then you roast them. And then when they get crunchy, you use that as your croutons. Oh, and what I want to do, I bought 3 potatoes, small potatoes. I'm going to slice them really thin. I'm going to season them with the herb and I'll put them in the oven. And then I'm going to lay them like, what do you call that, in layers and make like a round, in my mind, make a round base, just like I did with the watercress last week, and then put the salad in the middle. And of course, we're going to have to put, do our dressing, that vinaigrette, Dijon dressing, right? This is olive oil, lots of lime juice. I found some lime because those little things that I had last week, just, that's no bueno. So they're a bit pricey right now, but oh well. They're still not as pricey as yellow lemons. Lemons here are like imported. So capers and what herbs, salt, pepper, Dijon, and then the grainy mustard. I have 2 kinds. And then you shake it, shake it, shake it. It's nice and creamy. But yesterday I was using some leftover dressing that I had, and I realized I had the capers. And then if you put some anchovies in it and shake it, it's gonna take it to another level. Now, I don't have anchovies this time. And today I have the 2 classes and I have it live at 4. There's no way I'm gonna have time to go to the store. But that's something to keep in mind next time I go out. Thank you for the like button. Don't forget to hit the like. Next time I go into town, I'm gonna get some anchovies and then put them in my dressing. We do that in your Caesar dressing, because I used to make dressing at the restaurant. But if you're like, ew, anchovies, you don't have to put it in. But anchovies really elevates that. So we're gonna do that and put it, oh, something else I bought, I forgot to show you. So as I was going around in the hood part of the, of the fish market, I saw some fresh tuna. Good morning, Lynette. Well, I'm a tuna freak. So I was like, oh, they have that here too. So I was shocked. So I said, and I learned a lesson today. And I want you to know, when I was in the meat section, there was a big oxtail looking at me. And I'm like, I shall not. And I did not buy it. I was good. I didn't buy the oxtail. But I saw this piece of tuna, and I said, how much the pound? ¿Cuánto la libra? He said, $2. I'm like, oh, give me a couple of pounds. He looked at me, and he picked up the whole thing, and he put it in the scale. He said, it's $5.43, $5. I'm like, okay. So they don't want to be weighing things for you. I mean, they do, because they did give me the 3 pounds, but certain things, it's like all or nothing, just like an oxtail. You don't ask for 2 pounds or 3 pounds. They pick the oxtail, you say, I want that one, and then they put it, whatever the price is, that's what you pay. And I'm so excited now that I have Yappy. When I go In the hood, no, don't ask for yappy there. But, so he put it in the, so they don't do change, you know, if it's like 940, it's 9. So, but I always would put the extra, would round it up when I do yappy. But anyway, I want to show you this piece of fresh tuna that cost me $5. Woo! Do you see that? Do you see that? $5 for fresh tuna? This much? Ah! I am so excited. So now I'm like, I'm gonna have to make a salad niçoise this month. Hola, Natasha Holmes. We have to make salad niçoise. This is the French salad that you have potatoes, green beans, lettuce, radishes, cherry tomatoes. I think that's it. And then you make a warm Dijon vinaigrette, but then on top, you put a nice slice of either fresh tuna or some people use, do they do the canned tuna for it? Ew. So we're not doing that. Okay, but salad niçoise is one of my favorites. So we're gonna do that maybe next week because you know, all of this month is salads. So I realized that now in terms of greens, I do not like lettuce, but I like arugula. I like the bero, which is watercress, especially the hydroponic one. I ate the rest. It's not as peppery. That is so true. The regular watercress can be, you kind of get used to it. It can be really peppery. Good morning, Chita. It can be really peppery, but the one that I bought, so now I'm gonna go buy the hydroponic one. This is the one that is grown in water, and you can grow them inside. I'm like, can I grow some in here? It's so much trouble. Because if I have a plant that requires more than water, and I have a little bit of feeding stuff in it, that's it. I can't do anything else. So I'm excited. So I have fish. I have some chicken breast, and I have, I gotta clean those fish. Now see, that's gonna give me pause, because I don't like to clean fish. But anyway, so when I was coming back, I said, okay, I have to walk 5 blocks to the metro station, and then 3 blocks from the metro station to my house. Let's just walk. So I walked home. Oof. I crossed a couple of streets, but it wasn't bad. It's Saturday morning, so it wasn't too bad. But anyway, so that's the salad for tomorrow. I was hoping to maybe show you guys how to make the pita wedges, the pita chips, but they didn't have the whole grain one. That's not easy to find, at least where I went. I went to Rave. Was it yesterday? And sometimes you can find them at Reba Smith. But if you take not the pita bread that you can put the pockets, I've made pockets with my veggie burger, veggie balls. Then you can put them inside the pita pockets, and that's really good. And then you can make a dressing. Now I don't use any other cheese look-alike, you know, that people use to make something look like cheese. But I think the creamy mustard dressing is as far as I'm willing to go. And because, you know how I feel. If I can't have the real thing, I just don't have it. I don't want to go out of my way to find something that's a look-alike. I just don't do that. I know vegans do that, but I'm not vegan, so. So we could do some pockets one time. I was thinking actually that one of the salads, maybe the last week, we're gonna do a salad and make veggie balls and put them on top. Ooh. And something else I was thinking in terms of lettuce. Since I don't like lettuce, the butter lettuce is very delicate and it's good. So I could make the veggie burger or balls and then wrap them in that lettuce leaves. That's that's an idea. You see, this is how I get excited about cooking, because I can think in my head of 1,000 ways to do a variation of food, and that's the only creativity that I have. Yesterday, I went to this event where my sisters were doing the line dancing, and I'm like looking, I can't do it. I am not coordinated. So I just clap for them, and I'm so excited, but I can't dance. I can't. And there was a little lady there. She looked older than I. Let me tell you, she was just going at it. She knew every single step, and I'm like, whoa. I love it for my sisters. Let me tell you, people retire abroad, and they live, okay? There is life in retirement. And it's not just going bowling and golfing. They do all kinds of things. So yesterday it was like a contest. They had a group from South Carolina, and stepping, light dancing is a big thing now. All over social media you could see it, and then to see the seasoned sisters up there doing their thing, and then this one had the whistle. I mean, she was going, and you could see that she burned the calories because she looked really good. I was like, yes, because this is what, I walked home, and I was a drenching mess, of course, and I'm like, when I say move, you move. So I walked from the market to here. It's not that far, but I try not to go out in the heat too much, because there's another thing I'm going to write about, this El Nino thing, how it can be dangerous for us sisters who are older, how we need to really move around a little bit more carefully, because with these extreme temperatures, it could become very dangerous really fast, okay? So that's that. We talked about tomorrow. So tonight at 4 o'clock, this afternoon, I should say, I used to do the lives, and I would talk about something, that's of interest to people. And then last week we did something about the emotional toll of moving abroad. And one sister is coming this coming week to talk to, well, she's going to do it remotely. We're going to have a presentation about how life changes. Either you're retired, or you quit your job, or you move abroad, how you manage that transition, because that is important. And not everybody has the skill set to move through it in a healthy manner. And of course, people are like, well, what's not to like? You're going to leave the stress over there, you're going to come over here. But sis, it's still a major change. And I always say, you hear me say, you're not a tree. And everybody handles change differently. So you need to understand what is happening and how it might affect you and how to manage it. So she's going to talk about, it's like when you become an empty nester. You're like, oh, my kids are gone. So who am I? What do I do, right? You got to create a new persona for yourself. Let's say you get a divorce. Oh my God, think about major change. Now, all your friends change, the people you used to hang around with, some of them are married, are looking at you like, I'm going to get to my husband. So you got to create a new set of friends. When you become single, some people want to shame you, especially if you're from a church background. Hello, you're like the Jezebel. So you got to deal with all that. And then when you decide you retire, yes, again, your job was who you are. I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm an accountant. And outside of that, who am I? Yeah. Some people don't struggle with that, but some people do, sis. Okay. So, and some people struggle in silence, because they feel like, well, I should know how to handle this. Nobody seems to be going through the same thing. Therefore, I don't need to bring it up. Yeah, I'm right. So sisterhood means being open and accepting people for who they are and whatever they're going through. Now, if somebody is wallowing in what they're going through and not interested in getting out of it or learning the skills to manage it, this is where my patience goes. It's like, no, sis, we want to move forward, but if you want to stay over here and just, looking for pity for people to, we're moving. I'm a mover, right? So I did that last week, and 2 weeks ago we did a presentation on co-living. So I posted the co-living assessment questionnaire on the YouTube channel. So now I'm working on the website. Once we get our website up, everything is going to migrate there. All the forms, I have some forms I want to make available to people free, so a free download, like your self-assessment, the move abroad checklist, and how to declutter your schedule. All those I'm going to put on the website, and they're going to be free for anyone who wants to download them, okay? And also, so I did that, but I found a questionnaire of the things you need to think about when you are thinking. I'm looking at the time because it's almost time for my class. When you are thinking of co-living, as I said, the two sets of ladies I know here who are in a co-living relationship, they knew each other. They are friends. So you got that going for you. But it's not impossible to find your person, but you got to do your due diligence. You got to talk to each other. Say, how do you think? Right now, politically, I don't want to be in a house with someone who thinks so diametrically opposed to how I feel, and then, you're going to have tension. Who needs that? No. So there's a long questionnaire there. It is a PDF. I believe you don't need access, and then you could just download it and start looking at it. And if you see anyone you're interested in, take it with you and then go through it line by line. And I can look at it again. I haven't really done a deep dive to see if it covers everything. I might want to add something else to it, right? Because you're looking at temperament, habits, beliefs, finances. There's so much to look at when you're bringing somebody. I'm thinking a co-liver, it's like bringing somebody into your home, like your bedroom, right? Which is a sacred space. My home is a sacred space. I tell people when I return, hi Eddie, how are you? You're back, good to see you. When I invite you to my home, that's because I think highly of you, because I don't drag Blojo down the street into my house. No. Your house is sacred, so you have to know who you're bringing into it. So that's why co-living is such an important decision, right? So tonight, though, there were two things I said I would promise to do. I did the thing on emotion, I did the co-living, and then I said I'll do some mild, free conversational Spanish classes. Now, this is not going to be as deep as my regular classes that I do online. That wouldn't be fair to my students, right? So it's just going to be basic conversational Spanish. How do you say that? If people want to learn how to pronounce. So the first one's going to be this afternoon at 4, all right? And late last night, I was saying, I need to do a PowerPoint, right? So I have a PowerPoint, and it's like you're going to be in class, right? But I'm going to be on and off of it just to tell you, how do you say buenos dias, buenas tardes, buenas noches, and talk a little bit about the cultural differences. Because when you're learning a language, you're learning culture, because they don't think like we do, they don't move around like we do, and if you decide to come into their country, then you need to understand the history behind what they eat, the history behind their belief, the history behind their family structure and all that. So language teaches you all that. And I keep saying, and I'll keep repeating it, there is a lack of commitment on the part of people to understand, first of all, the importance of learning the language, and second of all, the time commitment that is required for you to really, right? If you just, it's a little item on your list and then it's way down, it's going to take you forever, right? So, but anyway, that's what I had to say. So I'll see some of you this afternoon at 4, and then tomorrow we make that yummy kale quinoa salad. That's going to be popping. And I have to do a lot of dressing because it's one of those salads that requires a nice amount of dressing to keep it moist. And I also have some almonds, right? And I was thinking this salad could use some pecan, but not caramelized. How would you say pecan? That you cook them in like brown sugar, a little bit of cinnamon. Oh, that would be so good with that. But I don't have pecans, and they're super pricey. But anyway, so that was my morning. You know, I start early. Don't forget to hydrate. I love water. That's all I have in there. I did buy some milk to make the gold milk. You heard about the gold milk? You take a little bit at night and you put some turmeric and you drink it. Well, I only had it twice this week. I keep forgetting. I am so undisciplined. It's not even funny. Yes, I show up for you guys. I show up on YouTube. But the rest of it and my exercises on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I am so grateful. Because if I didn't know that I had to show up, I probably would stay in bed a lot of times. So I'm very grateful for that. So, hola, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go off because it's my 10 o'clock class. I'm going to do a quick cup of coffee. And I only have it 3 times a week, so I'm good. All right? I'm good. I'm a good girl. All right. Au revoir. Good day. Bye. Don't forget to hit the like on your way out. Hit the like button, por favor. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. Hit the like button. Doesn't cost you anything. Thank you, Lynette. I'm watching. I'm waiting. All right. Bye, guys.